I did. Over there. It's fun.
Can I have a hug too?
Hi.
That's good, Ray. Just start right there.
Okay. Right.
Yep. It does. Oh, you see that? That's not how mother says. I would answer that.
I know.
Whatever the orange you That's real.
Good.
Yeah, I'm gonna start there. Guys, this not great one. That's right. Yeah. Ready for you. Come here. Hello.
22.
That's nice. I just was my guy. Yeah. Hey. But
Did we forget that little printout?
You know what?
Right now,
I was talking with Shay a couple days ago.
Ready to get started?
I was talking with Shay a couple days ago, and one of the things we talked about was how we all wait in life for things to get easier. Think in your own life, if you waited for something to get easier. Oh, I just got to get through this and then it'll be easy. I've just got to get through preseason and then it'll be okay. I've just got to get through my junior year of high school and then the classes are going to get easier. Or I've just got to get to my spring of my senior year of college and it's going to be easier. It's what we do. We wait for stuff to get easier. It will never get easier. What happens is you handle hard better. That's what happens. Most people think that it's going to get easier. Life is going to get easier. Basketball is going to get easier. School's going to get easier. It never gets easier. What happens is you become someone that handles hard stuff better. So that's a mental shift that has to occur in each of your brains. It has to. Because if you go around waiting for stuff to get easier in life, it's never going to happen. And then what happens? Oh, it's so hard. Oh, I can't do it. Oh, I don't know when is it going to be easy for me? Oh, it's easy for other people. It's not. It's hard. And the second we see you handling stuff, handling hard better, what are we going to do? We're going to make it harder. We're going to make it harder. Because we're preparing for you for when you leave here. Not just basketball and life. And if you think life, when you leave college, is going to be all of a sudden get easy because you graduated and you got a degree, it's not going to get easier. It's going to get harder. So make yourself a person that handles hard well. Not someone that's waiting for the easy. Because if you have a meaningful pursuit in life, it will never be easy. If you're trying to win a championship, if you're trying to have a family, ask your parents, do you think it was ever easy for them to raise kids? Karen, is it easy? It's not. Any meaningful pursuit in life, if you want to be successful at it, it goes to the people that handle hard well. Those are the people that get the stuff they want. People that wait around for easy, you probably see them at the bus stop. They're waiting for the easy bus to come around. Easy bus never comes around. You've got to handle hard. Okay, so don't get discouraged through this time. If it's hard, don't get discouraged. It's supposed to be. And don't wait for it to be, I just got to get through the summer. And then it'll all of a sudden get easy in the fall. No, it won't. It won't. It won't get easy in the fall. So make yourself someone that handles hard well. And then whatever comes at you, you're going to be great. You're going to be great, okay?
Hey,
What do you think of that?
I love it.
That first time you
That's Carol Larson. She's the Duke women's basketball coach. And at night I dream I can sit around and talk like, off the top of my head, just come up with something like that. It's just amazing that she just got that in her. So the hair goes up. I watched that like 25 times and just like every time I watched it. He went to Mega Camp. They started Mega Camp off with that. That was the kickoff of Mega Camp. So if Gary can do it, I thought I can do it too. My name is John. I'm an agent in the office and all the team leaders are all gone. So I'm here. So you're stuck with me. Everybody else is in training. So yeah, thank you. Thank you. So let's start out with gratitude. I've been here for an agent. Well, I'll give you my background. Thank you for saying that. Thank you. I've outlasted the stats. The stats say that almost 9 out of 10 agents don't make it 5 years. So I made it to 7 years this summer, 7 years. I beat the stat. So I coach a team in the office. We're 9 agents strong, 3 full-time staff, the Atlanta Property Professionals. Marquia's here. Is anybody else from our team here? Marie's here. Marie Burgess is here. Molly's here. Molly's here too. So proud of that. They do an amazing job. So they make me look good. So when you say I'm not just an agent, they're the engine and the fire behind making me look good. So we're number 2 right now behind the curtain team by a little bit. We want to get there. So that'll be an amazing accomplishment. So I'm happy because I choose to be grateful. Gratitude allows me to be happy. Let's do some gratitude. You got the first gratitude?
I got two.
Yeah.
I'm thankful for you leading us today.
Thank you.
And I'm thankful that Marie is back here.
Let's get Marie. Marie gets the kiss?
Yes.
Yes, she does. All right, we got. Cynthia.
Yes, I am grateful for Ms. Kathy Vitale, even though a buyer has not gotten any deals accepted. Kathy is amazing, and I had one buyer who got approved with a lender who doesn't work on weekends or after hours. So couldn't get approved through the letters, blah, blah, blah. Kathy immediately had her approved, no finance contingency, a very short due diligence, presented a phenomenal offer, very good, very quickly. And of course, the other agent and vouched for my buyer. And out of 15, we were number 2. We did get beat by cash and a little bit higher, but Kathy is, if you're not using Kathy, you're crazy.
There you go.
Oh,
I'm telling
Great
you.
one.
so
Don't tell her husband either, because I'll get double.
I'm grateful for the day we had our monthly Diversity, Equity, Inclusion Committee meeting. We had great conversation. We meet every second Tuesday from 10 to 11. And we think we're gonna make some great things happen.
Awesome.
So,
Yeah.
thank you.
Not just about meetings, it's about action. Thank you for reminding us of that when we have meetings.
I am thankful for Cynthia because I left on vacation last week and she handled all my business and got me into contract.
Sissy,
Go ahead.
you want to go again?
Right here.
There she is.
Also, buyer so that I could attend my daughter's last wedding dress fitting.
I'm very grateful for Pam and Kathy and here, my fellow mentors, because without them, the fun job of helping all the agents wouldn't be as fun.
Awesome. Uh-oh, Marquia. We never know what Marquia is gonna say.
Welcome to you, John.
Oh,
And,
Atlanta Property Professionals. We had a great event, pickleball event
Yeah.
on, last Friday, and it was very fun. It ended at 9:30, people were still there at like
Yeah.
10:30. Great client event, people still calling, just saying how much of an amazing time they had, so.
Pickleball,
Pickleball.
yeah. We were amazed how many people wanted to play pickleball. We thought, so we had it on Cinco de Mayo, so we thought everybody was coming for margaritas, but they wanted to play pickleball. So that was a lot of fun. So here, you can hold it. Awesome. Any more? So tell us your name.
Joy, I'm a new agent here at Keller Williams and I'm.
Welcome, Joy. Yeah.
She saw something in me and she invited me.
Is this Amico?
No, she's not here.
Okay.
She's watching by herself.
You turn around like if you were taking credit. Like you're like, yep. Taking credit. That's the only reason why I thought that. Yeah, okay. You like Amico too? All right, we'll get 2 kisses for Amico. Yeah. Awesome. Welcome. All right. Yeah, that's awesome. All right, we're ready. Inside, they brought us this awesome lunch. Those are good sandwiches. Okay, come on up. Talk about the company a little bit.
Hi, everybody. How are you doing? Well, I'm James, as has been said, I'm with Anytime Building Solutions. We are a general contractor, but we like to call ourselves to be known as a building science company. If you've never heard what that term is, I'll give you a little explanation. So what building science is pretty much the study of how a building comes together, the different aspects of how different systems come together. That's how we look at a building. So you have different systems, roofing system, siding system, HVAC system, electrical system, all these different systems. And they have to be designed right, they have to be installed right, and they have to be maintained right. So whenever there's problems, we basically come in and we take a building science point of view to look at the problems and to figure out what the solutions are that are needed to fix the issue. So we deal with everything from mold, we do with water, fire restoration. We also work with radon. So we do mitigation systems for indoor air quality. We have a GC department that does renovations, home renovations, remodeling. We also do custom luxury homes as well. So we're all around the North Georgia area, the metro area. So we can basically be a service to all your clients and anything you guys need. You kind of can look at us as a one-stop shop for various things that you need. So I got some information on the desk there for you. Got my cards, some pamphlets. If you have any other questions, feel free to reach out and connect with me.
Thank you. All right, can a lender kill a deal for you? Yeah, yeah. Can a lender help you save a deal? Now, here's the most important reason why you should partner with Kathy. Can a lender help you convert, can convert a lead? Can a lender help you convert a lead? So you've got a lead, you're trying to nurture them. And you've got to get it pre-qualified. And you want to send to somebody you trust that's going to make sure that they're going to make sure that that person also builds some trust in you, so they can help you convert leads. So this is your lead conversion partner, your closing partner, Kathy.
I don't need to say anything now.
There you are.
So seriously, as John said, that we are lenders and there's a zillion out there and I'm sure they're all calling you, want your business, trying to earn it in different ways. As your alliance partner, I always say it's not just the deal that you give us to work on, it's any deal that you have. So if you have a mortgage concern, if you have a person, even though they're working with another lender, just know that we're there for you. Sometimes lenders, unfortunately, just as real estate agents, we're all not even with knowledge and or experience or problem solving. So you may get something told to your buyer that's not quite what really is the only way to handle it, or even the truth at times. The good thing about it is I've been in the business 40 years. And a lot of the lenders that are in this area that are the good lenders are people I put in the business 30 years ago. So sometimes who you're working with, I already know them and I can call them and warn them to get it straight or I'll take the loan away from them. And that kind of puts that extra pressure on it, and I will do that. So again, just know, yes, we want your business. We're like you, 100% commission. We don't get a deal, we don't close, we don't make money. But anything y'all need on the mortgage side, and I don't care if it's someone that got the 540 credit score, you know, they just, they don't have a path yet. Let's put them on a program together. Let's talk to them about how we get them there, what they have to do. We'll do that. We'll have those conversations and work together with it. And then as John said, and Sissy knows, a lot of people in the room know, Pam and others, Marie, you know, Kathy, you know, we're working this together. So, you know, as soon as that deal's in, I'm gonna call the listing agent. I'm gonna validate who I am, who our company is, who our appraisers are. We're doing all pre-underwriting up front. So even on our VA loans, we're not gonna have a financing contingency. They're already gonna be underwritten. When we tell the listing agent that, that will put that person up. It really means a lot. I usually can get a little bit more information from the listing agent too. Because I'll ask the question, well, how strong is our offer? Well, so I try to get a little bit more insight that the buyer's agent might not have gotten, say, hey, you know what? If we push the due diligence down to this, or if we can get the appraisal on this date, you know, you might want to talk to them about a little bit higher price. I'm trying to help do that. I'm trying to pull it together. The big news is the LLPA adjustments. So what happened was, they decided that the low end credit score borrower was getting hit too hard on their rate and cost. They challenged and said, let's do something about it. When they did something about it, they adjusted everyone. So if you have a great credit score, you're still going to get the better rate. You're just not going to get as good of a rate or cost as you would have before this adjustment. Because it's all adjustment. So you don't want to get a low credit score because you're not going to get a better rate. You're going to get a better rate than you were going to get. Does that make sense? So the 640 credit score is not going to be hit as hard on cost or rate. And the scenario here tells a 400,000. So before this change, if you had 20% down, you had the credit score 740, you're now paying $1,500 more at closing to get the same rate as you would have before this change. So that's the adjustment on the high end. Still can get the same rate, but it's going to cost you more closing. If you're 3% down, doesn't matter about the 20%, you got a 640 score, you've now gone from 11,000 for a rate to 6,000. So that's the advantage. The low end credit score borrower is not going to get hit as hard on rate and or cost with that rate. But the high credit score is still going to get the better rate and the better cost. This is not as good as it was. So this whole article tells that these are actually the LLPA. This actually, as I gave you before, shows and explains all this changes. So if you're high C and you want to know all that, then I've got it for you. You can get it, you can share it, you can use it for discussion. But again, people call me, don't y'all let us get credit score drop? No. Great credit score, still get the better rate today. They just don't get as good of an advantage in the pricing of that rate as they used to. That's the bottom line. We're going to start doing some real information. You know, I've tried to research on what we need. We're going to try to give y'all some snippets, some little paragraphs, some little things y'all can use for your reels to get out on the mortgage side and start sending that out. I'm working on with marketing to do it. If you've got any ideas, anything you want to push, a lot of programs are coming out. Freddie Mac is coming out with a program with lenders. We can actually start it, I think, this week, where at Freddie Mac on certain programs, certain income levels, we'll give $1,500 toward closing costs, and we'll give $1,500. So the first time home buyers, $3,000 less on their costs. They're already getting the credit too, so we can really get their costs down. We've also got the Freddie Mac rehab program that should be by the end of the month. If you've got a home that, you know, the bathrooms, you know, the one bathroom kitchen needs to be done, we can do 10%. We can work with Ensign on it. We can do 10% of the sales price in an escrow account for the bathrooms. It can't be structural, but for bathrooms, for kitchens. So, you know, $500,000 house, they want to put $50,000 in rehab. We can put it in an escrow account. They get the same regular rate. They have the same closing date. The money's just sitting there for the Ensign company or Home Depot or Lowe's to do the work. So that's called a mini rehab, and it's conventional, and I think it's going to be a hot one. to use for these people that come in, go love the house, but I really want the bathrooms done, or I want the kitchen done. So we'll give you more information on that. We can do 203K. You've got an FHA buyer, and you want to talk about that. I've done it for 40 years, happy to do that. We've got Genoa money coming out. We've got the Atlanta Housing Authority coming out, and I'll give you all information on that. Don't know how well the down payment assistance programs are gonna be perceived on an offer, but we're gonna do the upfront underwriting and try to make those, advantageous. Like I said, if you've got a veteran too, we do upfront underwriting, so when you go in on that VA offer, we're already underwritten. It's done, all conditions clear, we just need appraisal and title, and we can talk about doing, during due diligence, getting appraisal in with the VA appraiser, so, a lot of little, tricks of the trade that we can try to help your offer be the stronger. Any questions?
I just have a comment. I bought my house with a GI Bill, and I don't think I would have, this was back in 2011 when credit was tight. I don't think I would have been able to buy that house without it, so it's probably, fast forward today, the veterans that are out there, it's probably more of a benefit now than it was
Yes.
3 years ago, when rates were dirt cheap. So I wouldn't be surprised if you don't see more veterans taking it, using their GI Bill, which they can use it once and they can use it their whole life, just only have it active at one point, so you can sell it, use it again.
Well, there's a formula that you can do, and I just did it for a couple. They own a probably $250,000 on their VA mortgage that they did in Riverdale. They want to keep it as a rental. We took their certificate of eligibility and determined if they want 100% financing, they can do up to $504,000 and still keep that house as a rental in VA and get a new VA. So it can be done. It's just a calculation we have to do. If they want to go higher than that, they're gonna have to put a certain percentage down. A VA rate is better than a conventional rate for the veteran, especially if they have any disability income. I don't care if it's $150 a month. There's no PMI, there's no funding fee, there's nothing but straight rate. So it's not that they have bad credit, it's not that they don't qualify, it is a great loan for the veteran.
Yeah, a quick question on the FHA and VA loans that are assumable. Does the original borrower maintain liability?
Not on an FHA, where's Carrie? Is she in there? Carrie actually has a home right now in Dawsonville, and she has a client assuming it at New Res, our parent company. And on FHA, the buyer, once they close, is totally released of liability, can come back the next month and go buy another FHA house. On VA, I've never done one, but I believe the veteran, there's an assumability that the veteran still loses part of their certificate of eligibility, that I'm not 100% sure. Yeah, not sure on that. The key is the person buying that house. If it's a $400,000 house and the loan is $200,000 assumable, they have to get the $200,000 delta. So that's the key about assumability. Assumability is a great call. If you look at records, see someone has a low FHA loan or VA loan, that would be a great call to listing and say, hey, let's talk about assumability and, the opportunity of maybe selling your house and this being an advantage.
All right, thank you, Pat. Don't miss that mini rehab loan. Who's got a buyer right now that's looking for a $500,000 house around this area? All right, you can't find one, or you do find one and it's 25 offers on it, right? The nice ones, the ones that are fixed up, that look great, painted, they're going like that for over list, right? And then you're taking your buyer to the other house that smells kind of bad and the carpets are a mess and it's not really updated, and they don't want to make an offer on that house because it's $500,000, right? Now you've got a way to do it, the mini rehab loan. You're gonna talk to them about how, hey, look, we can come into this house right here, make an offer. We don't have to go above list. We don't have to compete with 25 other offers. We get the mini rehab loan. I've got my team that could put this together, my lender and my guys from Inside.
Give you a pump. Inside can come into the house and give you a free form of what it's gonna cost to rehab it, so when you list the house, you already know what they'll do it for.
Right.
Y'all just partner with them and
Right.
come in advance.
And you as the agent, say, I'm gonna pull this all together for you. I'm gonna get my team together to get this done, right? Leverage that. Because if you kind of just explain to somebody, here's what you can do, they're gonna blank out. They're not gonna figure out. But if you're gonna help them through the whole process and help figure this out, I think that's a great way. I'm gonna I've got a couple buyers right now myself that I'm gonna get together with you guys and we're gonna get this done. We get them under contract this weekend. All right, yeah, go ahead. Austin. So you-
Yeah,
go
so
ahead.
they,
Explain
no,
it.
so what happens is if the house is 500,000, and it's gonna be 550,000, if they do 50,000. And they're actually gonna put 3% down of the 550. And we're gonna close and get you as the buyer's agent and the listing agent out of the way, money's gonna sit in the account, and Doug's gonna come in and do the rehab.
Your mortgage payment's on the 550.
Yeah.
It's not a separate loan. Yeah. Yeah.
5%.
Yeah, it's not a home equity line of credit. So this is a much better home equity line of credit. Your interest rates are higher and you've got to have equity in the
Yeah,
home,
and
right?
it's not a rehab
Yeah.
where the rate's gonna be higher, it's the
Right.
actual regular market
Right.
rate.
Great way to get your buyers to the homes right now, before they get fatigued and they say, I'll buy next year. And then the same house they looked at this year is gonna cost $550,000. It's gonna be in the same shape it was this year. So talk to people about that. Okay, we've got Rhea's here. Do we know Rhea? Awesome. Go ahead, Rhea.
I'm on my own today. I don't have anyone with me. Yeah, they left me by myself. Hi, everyone. My name is Rhea Dawkins. For those that don't know me, I am the agent service representative here from McMichael and Gray. The purpose of my role is to really just be a resource and to build relationships with you guys. So if you have any legal questions, I'm not an attorney. I know people ask that all the time, but I can get information to our team of attorneys who answer pretty quickly and get back with you. Also, we do legal descriptions. So as you can see on the screen behind me, you can scan that QR code and get my contact information and save it to your phone. Also, you can send any legal questions or if you need legal descriptions to kwrc@mmg.law. We are a full service real estate law firm. We have 16 locations in the Atlanta area and a number of locations in surrounding states. So it makes it very convenient for your clients, wherever they want to close, they can. You're going to work with the same team the whole time. Even if like in the midst of the process, you decide, hey, we don't want to close in Stockbridge, we now want to close in Alpharetta, you'll still be working with the same team. So that makes it super convenient. Just a couple of shameless plugs. This upcoming Monday, May 15th, we will hold course 3 of Building Your Foundation in New Construction. How many people have come to either maybe 1 or 2 here? So the guys that teach it, they're hilarious. Yes, yes. And we do provide lunch. So make sure you guys get registered for that. Also wanted to let you know, another shameless plug, we're gonna be providing breakfast the day of Bread Day, this Thursday. And we will be on site. I'll be representing McMichael and Gray and giving back to the community. So we'd love to see you there. I do have 2 things. So 2 gift cards, Starbucks gift cards. So we're gonna do a quick little trivia. All right, we'll do raising hands. So the first question is, how many offices do we have outside of Georgia?
Oh, outside Georgia?
Yeah, there's a paper on your table. That's right. Yes. Yeah, no. Yes, correct, 11. So 11 offices. All right, let's see. And then for the other question. What am I becoming known for in this office? Gaining weight. So first in my office is, we have lots of snacks. If you can't get out to lunch or anything, but of course, I would love for you to come in there and not only grab a snack, but to sit down and chat with me and let me know how we can earn your business. So thank you guys so much for your time.
Yeah, so when Raven sends out this deck, which Raven does a tremendous job every week doing all this. These all link back, right? So these all have links in them, right, in the deck. So you can link back to each one of these, sites. One of my favorite sites is the KW Roswell training. Right, so all the training is on there. So anything you think of. So if you have trouble with DocuSign, it's going to be on there. Everything's going to be on there. The other one that I really like is the Earnest in the Bank Shop. Don't ever go collect earnest money again. You could use those apps to get your earnest money in. So there's a ton of great ones. What do we got coming next?
All right, we have to introduce someone.
Wait, first, is Red Day on there or we?
It is.
So we got a specific slide.
You know, if you want, we can go,
Let's talk about Red Day now. I'm so excited.
Our guest's waiting for a minute here.
All right, let's talk about Red Day first.
All right.
Yeah, because I'm excited about Red Day. Susan is,
As I checked last, we have about 70 people signed up for Red Day. If you haven't signed up yet, and maybe you can only come for part of the day because there's a play at school or you have a doctor's appointment, whatever, come for whatever you can. Red Day is such a fun event to participate. It's a great camaraderie. We're giving back to the community. Like if you need a day to feel good because you have lost out on so many offers and you have clients that are making you crazy, come on Thursday. You'll feel so much better at the end. We are working with Homestretch. I believe we're going to be sending out a message with the address. It's 98 Grove, I think, off the top of my head. We're going to be doing some painting, some gardening. So don't come dressed up. Don't wear heels. Wear your grubbies. Wear a Red Day shirt if you have one. If you don't have one, this is like a vintage one, 2017. I've been around for a while, I guess. If you don't have one, just wear a red shirt. Doesn't matter. You're going to get dirty. You're going to be sweaty.
maybe you don't fit.
Yeah. And wear any KW shirt, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't. We are all going to the same location. Yeah, there you go. Bring a paint roller. There you go. Make it look like. So what we're doing is we're meeting here at 9 o'clock. We're gonna have breakfast from our friends from McMichael, right? We'll be providing that. You're gonna be signing your waiver that we have to sign with the organization. And then we're gonna head on over to the facility, which is really just behind City Hall, essentially, off Oak Street. And then we're gonna be working there. And then our friends from House Call are gonna be feeding us lunch. And then probably around 12:30 or 1. We'll probably be done by like 2:30, to be honest. And again, if you can only come for part of the day, if you can come for the morning, come for the morning. Come for the afternoon, come for the afternoon.
Waivers here, because I'm coming in now.
We will bring waivers just for you, Sissy.
This is not a house you bought, we're gonna fix it up and sell for $1 million.
This is not one of my clients' houses that we're about to list next week. So for those of you guys that don't know about Homestretch is a group that basically they're providing housing for homeless people who are trying to get back on track. And it's amazing. So like I get tingles thinking about it, to be honest, because when you can help people that want to help themselves and want to get back into, you know, living in a home and helping provide for their family, because it's not just individuals, there are families there. So this is
provides education.
and education, exactly, training for them to like, to go be able to get jobs and stuff, education on what their benefits are too. So it's a great organization. Then what we're gonna do after is because what's a Roswell event without having an adult beverage after, right? So we're doing like an impromptu Roswell on the Rocks, and we're gonna be heading over to Lucky Burgers after, because it's fun, easy, lots of space. You have to bring your kids or dogs. You gotta go get them from school or from the house. Come on over afterwards, and we'll be meeting at Lucky's after for a soda, an iced tea, or an adult beverage.
Let's talk about Red Day in the broader sense around the country.
So Red Day started as kind of a tribute to Mo Anderson. Do you all know who Mo Anderson is? Or who doesn't know who Mo Anderson is? So Mo has been our CEO, CFO, many things, but she has the biggest heart in the whole entire world. And so I want to say it was about 15 years ago-ish. Pin me on that date. In honor of her birthday, Keller Williams shuts down nationwide, worldwide now. We shut down and go out into the community and help others, because that is something that's very dear and near to her heart, helping others in the community. And she has done so much for her community in Oklahoma, which is where she's from originally, and still lives. And so we do this every year. Literally, the office shuts down. You know, sure, we have clients that may need some calls and so forth, but we try to be present and be there to help our community. So it's really kind of cool too when people drive by and they're like, seeing us in our KW shirts or our red shirts, kind of as a group, they're like, wow, look at that group. And some people might catch that. And they're kind of like, wow, that's Keller Williams kind of doing that. And it's really, you feel good. So that's awesome. You're helping the community and the organization we're working for or with, which is great too. So yeah, so we do this every year. Headquarters in Austin shuts down for the day and they go out and work. So it's really great. And also too, you know, we do this every year and every year we try to reach out to different organizations. If you happen to be involved in an organization, come let me know so that we can maybe get them on the roster for next year, because we're really trying to plan this ahead of time, to make sure that we can help as many of the organizations and groups in the community as possible. Anyone have any questions?
No, but I'd like to piggyback on what you were saying there. You were talking about serving the community and everything. This is something that you can do not only on Red Day, but throughout the year. It's a
Anything.
win-win for you.
Yeah.
Not only are you helping the community and getting out there and serving, but you can touch your database and help your clients and give an extra level of care. Say, hey, it's springtime. Do you have clothes and things you need to get rid of? I'm going to the donation center.
Correct.
It's a touch that's not about real estate, where you can communicate with them.
It's important, there's a senior from the seniors last year that I still keep in contact with and visit her as well.
Yeah, it's great. You make those connections with the community, which sometimes most of us don't have that opportunity because we maybe don't know those groups or those people. And it's really a lot of fun. Yeah, I still keep in touch with someone from foster care actually, that was volunteering that day. That's a normal volunteer, so. Okay, well, we look forward to seeing you all here Tuesday at what time? Thursday, what time? 9 a.m. sharp. We'll have snacks because the snack queen's in charge. Yes, Crystal.
Bill that said that you would share the graphics so that we could all put this on our social media page.
It'll be after team meeting today, so we'll put it with the team meeting.
With the deck, yeah.
Yep.
So you can put that and say, hey, this is what I'm doing on Thursday. If you need me, leave me a message. Because I'll be working. But also just showing like. So here's the thing too, that you want to do on Thursday is you take pictures. There's a Red Day tag on any of the social medias. You can do that. And KW loves to have that because they'd love to be able to pull that. You'll see that at various, at our various conventions, family reunion, med camp. They'll kind of pull pictures from around the country from the social media people post. But it's a great thing to reach out and to let your clients know that you're reaching out, and they may have an organization that they would like you to help with as well. So can't go wrong with that. We look forward to seeing you guys. Oh, and one other quick thing too. Roswell on the Rocks this month is going to be changed to Wednesday, May 24th, because Thursday is the day before Friday of Memorial Day weekend. And so we figure a lot of people might be on the road. So we switch it to Wednesday. So hopefully more people can come, which will be at Ola. So we look, Ola. So we hope to see y'all there.
Thank you.
Jules, commercial corner. Commercial. Mark Ellsworth, is there any other commercial agent here? Mark's agents here.
We may have some online too. I don't
Somewhere
know.
here. So this was the spot where we're supposed to get the floor to all the commercial agents in the office. And here's the commercial agent in the office, Mark Ellsworth. He's my referral partner for all my commercial stuff. So he should be yours too. You're gonna run across people that you're not gonna be able to help because they're looking for commercial stuff. Try not to do it yourself. Give it to this guy because he can do it for you and then you can get paid. More
Okay,
importantly-
John, don't say anymore because you're gonna steal his thunder.
Well, give it to a commercial agent. It doesn't have to be me. We may have some online too. If they are, we'll make sure to get a chance for them to introduce themselves. But I wanted to take a couple minutes just to kind of distinguish a little bit what's different between residential and commercial. So you've got, and hopefully you'll leave with a few talking points. But we are a totally different animal. I wouldn't know how to sell a house. And I think a lot of people might struggle trying to sell a warehouse or a apartment complex or an industrial building of some sort. But the beauty of Keller Williams is that you're not the one agent that does all things real estate just because you have your license, is that you have partners inside the office for different disciplines, whether it's equestrian or luxury or whatever the different category is. You be the bridge so that you're essentially an extension. You've got a team. Somebody talks to you and says, hey, you know anybody that can do this? Yeah, of course. I've got a team member. I'm gonna connect the dots. But what would it look like if you were able to get 2 referrals a quarter from these different groups? How much sooner could you cap, or how much additional income could you potentially make? And we'll talk in just a minute about a couple of deals that are in process or completed. But I have a feeling that by partnering with referral partners in these different categories, that it raises the ship for everybody. It raises the brand awareness. You bring expertise to different categories. So I'll give you a few nuggets on commercial real estate because it's affected very much by the rates, but I'm gonna ask some trivia first. How big do you think, how many dollars is the commercial real estate in America?
$1 million.
1 trillion? It's definitely with a T, I'll tell you that. Five?
13 trillion.
Okay, 13. Any other guesses?
45.
45?
24.
Okay, we're all getting closer. So which is bigger, residential or commercial? No. I believe, and don't hold me to these exact numbers, the residential market was like 24 trillion and the commercial market was like 18 trillion. So it's almost half. But when you look around at most in real estate, it's only represented by maybe 5% of the total agents. Because it's so specialized, that's why. And then inside that world, there's really two categories. There's these big behemoth groups that trade like that plaza on the corner over there that has, what's the grocery, Sprouts? That sold for like $28 million. That was not traded by a regular commercial agent. That was traded between Wall Street and life insurance and all sorts of weird setups. But our sweet spot in Keller Williams Commercial is really a small investment group, small business owner, and our sweet spot dollar wise probably goes from 500,000, hard to do anymore, to $20 million. And once it gets above that price point, it's a different category. You're trading with, it's just different. So we love to work with CEOs, business owners, investment groups. And I think all of us, because of where we live, have in our database clients that we've sold them a house in Milton or Alpharetta or anywhere around here, that they also have other real estate needs. Case in point, we've worked with lots of people in here. I know that Roxy and John, a lot of people, Sarah, we're working on a project right now where you have referred, want to tell a little bit about it?
Which one?
Which one is it? You pick.
Okay, well, I would say that, before Christmas, when the market did that, and then we were all trying to figure things out. He did a little spot about, leaning into the commercial side of everything, and so I was like, you know what, I'm around these conversations, but I just hadn't really paid much attention to them. And so I just started training myself to have the residential conversation, but they're like, yeah, we're not looking to do that right now because we really like to expand our business. Okay, let me take that hat off. Great, tell me about your business. I'd love to hear, what are your plans for that, because then they tell me, I'm like, you know what, let me get you in touch with our commercial department. They are the best and can absolutely get you closer, move that needle for your dreams. And so then I've been able to, be the conduit to them and then throw the ball and then they take it and they run with it each time. So we're kind of working on 3 right now. And let's see, which one's my favorite? They're all amazing. I'm learning so much from Sarah and Mark. It is a whole nother world. I thought maybe at first it wasn't. And then as I've watched them, I'm like, wow, this is like the difference between English and Japanese. It's very complicated and it's like watching art with the way they do it. So I love that I don't have to know how to do everything. I just know the people who know how to do everything. And so that's the difference. The one that I think I'm enjoying the most right now is a equestrian farm. And I know that a lot of the the residential agents have done, a farm before. This is a whole nother level type of farm. Beyond my scope, it involves business within the transaction. And so that was like definitely, okay, I need to bring them in. And so we've done site visits and we're moving the needle on that. And it's been so educational and they let me sit in like a fly on the wall, learning and absorbing everything from them. And so I like that. And another one is an entire portfolio, 1,100 home sites. And so it's interesting. You probably are around more commercial conversations than you realize. You just, you know,
These were in your database.
Yes.
So that first one was a $6 million potential deal, the next one's a $10 million. These are from people that she sold houses to that have one connection or another to these other projects. And, you know, the equestrian one, it's a nonprofit that's trying to buy this for veteran, recovery for PTSD. So it's not just the rich guy buying a farm, it has to have this whole business component, be self-funding and all that. There's so many layers to it. But the potential referral fee, really highlight that is, you know, 25% of the commission on $6 million deal is nothing to scoff at. Hopefully we can get that across the finish line. We've done other, Sarah, we're working on other nonprofits, some apartment complexes in the city. So they're big deals, they're chunky deals. They don't all work out. And we also work with smaller deals. We will talk to all your clients. Get a lot of small businesses, and sometimes they're not ready to compete in today's market. And we'll spend time, like Kathy was saying, helping them. You need to have your business plan ready. Here's a template. We'll do that type of coaching to help get them ready so that when they are ready to go out and buy or lease, they could be on the strongest footing. But any questions about commercial? And then I'll wrap it up here in just a second. But we've got some team members here. You want to just introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Sarah Burt, and I have worked with Mark for 2 years. And one thing that I want to tell you guys is that I've had some residential agents come up to me and say, well, I don't really know if they would be a good client or if you'd like to work with them. That is okay. We will talk to them. We will work through. I mean, someone was like, oh, they want an 800 square foot space for, you know, a nail salon. That's okay. We love to have those conversations. We love to help them. And what I like is I did education before this and that warm and fuzzy. So if you have somebody that is like wanting to start a business or throw out some ideas, we love to kind of help them from the idea to put it into a plan and help them buy, lease, or anything. So thanks for having us.
Just some other people. Julie.
Red shirt on. Yes. You'll see me around.
All right. And Kathy, there you are.
I know, I don't remember it's starting, I didn't know, but Catherine Clark, been here almost a year. I came from the residential side, so I've been learning this whole year. It's a different animal for sure. I love it.
And I want to highlight that our team is here. We may have some folks online, but let me introduce some of the other people that are around the office. Nancy, she's got some background in business brokerage. So occasionally some people like, hey, I want to sell my real estate and the business with it all at once. Ben has been selling land since him and Moses grew up together. And Ben is the brought me to Keller Williams, so Keith has got, he's also similar to us, he's got his fingers in a little bit of everything. Chad and Alan, they're an MREA group for team. And they do a lot of investment deals, syndications, large property. Brett does a little bit of everything. Joel does a little bit of everything. And Joel is on the far end of the office. So we've got good representation. Try to get some commercial affiliated business, more so than most market centers around the country. We as a group are uniquely qualified because of just the economic, the household income in here. Being an investor, hey, you sold me that nice house in Milton, but I need a warehouse in Dalton because I run a carpet company. Or we have a franchise and we're rolling it out and we now have, we're going to open up 8 locations. Those are opportunities for you to participate. And to Sarah's point, it's just, ask those questions, those next round of questions. I'm not going to go through all this, but obviously this is just some takeaway conversation points. If you wanted to talk to your clients about, what segments of the commercial world are going well, which ones are struggling. Office is the one you'll see on the news that is, people are nervous about it. Now that the leases that were written between COVID are starting to die off, every company is saying, do I need this much square footage? Do I need to be in downtown Atlanta or should I have an office in, Douglasville and Lawrenceville instead? Do I want my people to come in 3 times a week or no times a week? And if it's only 2 times a week, can I use that desk for 2 employees? So all this is in flux. You've seen a lot of change in the office space. Some growing, some shrinking. Multifamily continues to be robust. There's not enough housing in pretty much any county in America, particularly on the lower income brackets. And then industrial is always strong. There's more and more last mile type of needs. And as more and more companies learn how to do their own e-commerce, they build their own warehouse. And then retail we see is still going strong. What you're looking for in retail is Amazon-proof stuff. So you think of a shopping plaza, it's got your tax man and your beauty salon. If it's got in a dance studio or something like that, it's safe. That's reliable stuff that mom's got to get the kids there or take and get their paperwork done. That can't be disrupted by Amazon. That is still red hot. And of course, everywhere in Metro Atlanta is still growing. So there's lots of opportunity there. But we're always around. Our office is over there. Feel free to ask any questions. And I have a t-shirt that I made. I was gonna come up with a trivia. Do you have a trivia question, Sarah?
I was gonna say, where is our office?
No.
Visit us in our office. What should you wear?
Red. What is it?
Yes,
Oh.
it's freezing.
The other side. So this t-shirt I had made on the front of it, this is kind of our value system. This is my family time. This is my money-making time. Because we're all about making sure we protect our time, be very intentional with it. And then on the back, this is not KW sanctioned, but I put, don't leap with my time. There we go. Marquia. There you go.
Yeah, so if anybody ever asks you, do you do commercial real estate, what should you say?
Yeah.
Yeah, let me introduce you to my business partner. Yeah, absolutely, do that. You know, that's one way to leverage. What do we got next? What do we got next? That market update. Here we are. Yeah.
I know, well, it was the end of the month.
Three weeks. Okay,
400.
all right. All right, so what does this tell you when we're looking at, these are current active, right? These are pendings.
And then we got closed
And
units
then we
on
have
the
closed
bottom.
units. So we look at current actives, the amount of closed and pendings. What does this say to you right now?
Low inventory.
Yeah.
So busy.
Yeah, so yes, we're busy.
Under contract than those that are being listed, why did we jump up to 1.9%?
4.9 months.
1.9 months supply of
Well,
inventory.
I don't know if that's a jump. 1.9 months of inventory is still crazy. Yeah.
Something to consider, guys, is that it's spring, right? It was spring break, so people were moving. We're at the end of the month here. And remember, this is the greater Atlanta area, so that's the counties listed on the bottom here. Honestly, I was looking at my Facebook feed from when I joined here. It was like 2020, 2021. And I'm looking at the summer numbers. It was these numbers.
Yeah.
So this isn't out of the blue. This
I
isn't,
think for the first
Yeah.
time in about 3 or 4 years, we're experiencing seasonality.
Yeah.
So if you're seeing things get better right now, we're actually seeing the spring market. We haven't had a spring market in, I don't know, 4 years, 5 years, right, since COVID. This is the first time we've had a spring market, which means that we're gonna have a fall market. If we're experiencing seasonality, which means your numbers are gonna go down, so you've got to make the numbers now. You should have the most sales for this time of year, should come right now in this seasonality time, right? Anticipate that fall is gonna drop off a little bit. So we're experiencing some seasonality. The other thing is when, my favorite question is, when people have to know that I'm a real estate agent, they always ask me, how's the market? How do you answer that question?
Fascinating.
Fascinating.
Fantastic like that.
Yeah, that is the answer. The first thing that I say when somebody asks me how the market is, like, oh, why do you ask? Right? right? You're getting into a conversation with them about where they want to take, where they're thinking about real estate. It could be just curiosity. They could just say curiosity. Well, my brother's thinking about selling his house. I was curious about, oh, you might have not have known that unless you asked, why did you ask, right? The other question is the market great right now? Don't say great, right? Because what is great? So it's great for sellers, right? Right? The market is always, market is just the market. If I've learned one thing in my past 7 years from Gary Keller, and I've learned a lot from him, but the most important thing I've learned is the market is just the market. It is what it is, right? So we kind of, attach value to it, say it's up or down, that kind of thing, but the market's always the market. So in the lowest point of the market, over 1 million homes sold in America, a couple of million homes sold in America. How many do you want to sell next year? 10, 20, 30, right? All you need is 30. You don't need 1 million homes, right? So I think the gap between the lowest point and the highest point, it's only been about 1 million homes. So at the lowest point and the highest point, the gap is about 1 million. So we're not talking about us responding to the market by just saying, well, it's bad or it's good. So we should always just respond to the market the same way as real estate agents. We should also have our clients see it the same way too. The market's just the market. So when's the best time to buy a house? Right now is the best time to buy a house, right? Well, the rates are going to go down in September, right? Well, you don't know that. Well, even if you did have a crystal ball and you knew the rates were going to go down next year, what's going to happen also next year? Prices are going to go up 10%. So you're looking at a $500,000 home, it's going to go up 10% next year. It went up 10% year over year this year. It's probably going to go up 10%. That's probably a given, especially in this area, right? So you're going to pay $550,000 for that same home that you said, I don't want to buy it because I don't like it. The same house you're going to go back to next year is going to be $550,000, right? And what else did you do if you're a renter? Yeah. Yeah, so right now is the best time to buy a house, right? So that's make sure you're conveying that. No matter what the stats say, make sure you're conveying that in the stats. Now, you should know the stats because that's what makes you a market expert. That's going to be your leverage over other agents. So know the stats. The best place to know the stats is from Chartmasters. Chartmasters is on Roswell training, right? I'm sure it's there. Watch the Chartmasters from a couple weeks ago. Who is not at Chartmasters? Okay. You were all there at Chartmasters? That's amazing. This is an amazing group. That many people were at Chartmasters. That's amazing. It was a full house for Chartmasters. All right.
And check your emails because the MMOs just came out. So they just came out yesterday. They actually sent us an update this morning. So we're going to send you the update with team meeting today.
Those that know me closely, like Molly and Markia, they know that I'm not a genius. All I do is rip off and duplicate everything. So what I do when I go to Chartmasters, I write down everything that Andy and Leslie say, and then I just repeat it. So go do the same thing. You don't have to know what's in those charts. You really don't have to know what's in the charts. You just have to know the scripts that Andy and Leslie are conveying, because they're going to give you a script for each chart. And that's what makes you sound like a genius when you're talking to people, right? Because I'm certainly not a genius, but I kind of repeat scripts. And the way I do that is I just write it down and I read it. And then somebody says, what's going on in Forsyth County right now with $300,000 homes in this area? And I read the script, right? So that's important. All right. Anybody else have any insights about what they're seeing in the market right now? Besides everything is selling fast.
I'm seeing a lot of contracts.
Yeah.
Yes.
Why are they falling through? What's happening?
Buyers are changing their mind. Buyer remorse. They're locking it down so they can get it accepted and
Right.
then they're like, yeah.
Yeah. I think there's a stat saying that from people who bought homes 2 years ago, that's when the market was reaching what is happening right now, where people are buying homes above list price. That says about 40% of those people are dissatisfied with their homes. Right? They basically bought a home that they felt like this is the last home on earth and I have to make an offer and I'm buying it, right? So those about 40% of people say, so maybe right now, people are making a choice saying, I'm not going to be one of those 40% 2 years from now. So maybe that's why some people are going out of contract and leaving it. Yeah.
Multiple offers.
Yeah.
I was just gonna piggyback on what we heard earlier today, that's why it's such an advantage to have Hackney. And the referral partners.
Yeah.
Because, you know, we can talk to our buyers and help to educate them that. we-
Talk them off the ledge. Yeah.
Be the buyer who won the bid, you outbid 10 other buyers, how does that make you feel?
Right.
Or we can go another route and find a home that there is no competition. And with the bathrooms, exactly what it is.
There you go. Kathy, you had an observation.
So I think it's very important right now also to have conversations with your buyers. I had a situation 2 or 3 weeks ago, I was covering for an agent out of town, and her buyer, when they put the offer in, and she did a great job negotiating $10,000 off list price. And it's an agent-owned home, so the agent was pissy, let's just say, mad that she, you know, didn't price her home right, was on the market for a while. And he knew that they weren't asking for anything big in the inspection. Then when the inspection came back and this person was gone, he demanded everything on the inspection to be on the HVAC. And I was like, well, had that conversation, and I was part of that conversation. It's like, I don't care. I'm paying top dollar for this house. And I said, well, you actually got it below market or below list price. So having those conversations with your buyers, making them understand that, what will set a seller off is the trimming the hedges around the AC to inches that you feel is more important than, you know, maybe what needs to be done. I mean, literally, the deal almost fell apart over the
Right.
hedges being a little too close to the AC unit outside. And I was like, that's fine. If you want to go against other people in this market, look for another house. Your agent will be back next week. She'll be happy to take you.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you have to have those conversations and those realistic conversations with them. Because I've heard from a couple other people too, like, what am I gonna do? They're mad that they won't, you know, replace a kitchen faucet. I'm like, tell your clients to go out and pick up the faucet that they want and have it installed when they buy it. Or when
Yeah.
it closes, so.
Yeah.
Buyers are a little unreasonable. They think it should be a buyer's market, so that's where they're kind of digging their heels in, I think.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
right, so the media is portraying another story right now. Media is saying that the real estate market is crashing all over America. Especially in California, right? Southern California is seeing increases like incredible year over year, yet you would hear that California is falling off the Pacific Ocean with real estate. It's not. So what the media likes to scare us to death. Right now, CNN has a countdown clock for the debt ceiling limit raise, right? Does everybody know that the debt ceiling's been raised 70 times in 40 years? It's gonna get raised again, right? But they're scaring us, they like to scare us to death. That's what keeps you tuning back in. So if you're watching that countdown clock, you get scared to death, you're gonna tune to CNN to see what they have to say about it, right? Debt ceiling is gonna get raised, right? The other thing too is they're talking about inflation's killing America right now. Right now, what's happening is unemployment's at the lowest rate it's been in what, 40 years? Right? We learned that from Kathy's Shelter 6 this morning, right? So I'm not a genius. I just read what people said, right? You know, and then they're also predicting inflation numbers are coming down. At the same time, when inflation goes up, mortgage rates start dropping too. It's kind of crazy how that works. But in any case, there's not a direct correlation, but that kind of happens too. So don't let your clients, because your clients are watching this, or your potential buyers are all watching all this negative news, but it's a lot different situation. So what's the situation is if you buy real estate now, it's going to be worth more money 10 years from now. Right? That renters, what was the other stat that was in the Shelter 6 that I loved? Renters people who own homes have 40 times more wealth than people who rent. Right? You should move from being a renter to a homeowner. The other thing that I'm finding observation with the market, a lot of buyers right now are telling you, I want to live in Roswell or Alpharetta, or I want to live in Cumming for this price range. And then they're saying, okay, let's look at Woodstock or Lilburn or Gwinnett County. So expand where they're looking, because some of the outlying counties have better prices and they're really nice homes and good schools too. Yeah.
I have one actually that, we're working on a deal right now, and it's in Braselton. It's right off 211 and 985.
Yeah.
I mean, they're even cutting a road there, and it's in the low 400s, 5-bedroom, 3.5 bathrooms.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's brand new with a basement. So
Expand your world too. You
Yeah.
might not even know where Braselton is. Now look it up and find out where it is. Expand your world too. Exactly. Right. Yeah. That's important. Yeah, because when your client says, I want to live in Alpharetta for $500,000 in a 4-bedroom with a basement, it's not gonna happen. You can't turn back the time machine, but you can take them to Brazelton, you can take them to up to Dawsonville. Yeah. Yeah.
But it's like if you're a little
Yeah. Most people are working from home now, so why are they fidgeting or they might not know what's going on in Gwinnett County right now with the growth that's happening there. So, yeah.
Last year I sold a house in Jackson County. This year I had a buyer in Jackson County, brand new construction townhome, 3-bed, 2.5 bath, 352,000. So
Yeah.
I was going up there with him, which is steel. I was going up there with him, the whole community has changed, like face, like new stores, new gas stations.
Yeah.
I mean, it is growing so much, and if I didn't have these transactions bringing me there, I wouldn't even know about it.
Mhm.
So search new construction. I do a lot of business in new construction. Search those locations, go up, meet with those people. That you're gonna look so versed in the outer counties when people cannot afford.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you.
One thing
That's
I'm
great
trying to
observation.
is
Yeah,
that a lot of the different communities go USDA.
there you go. When you go out to the outlying areas. Right, right. So the fastest growing population in America right now that has money is 33 to 40-year-olds, right? So that's the fastest growing, and they're all first-time home buyers. That's what's hitting the market right now. That's why the inventory is so low. It's because one, people are not putting their homes on the market, and two, there's a lot of buyers out there looking for homes because they know that they need to get out of renting. So you got to help those folks start expanding their minds and think about outlying areas. Right, right. You did know, right.
The schools are where it comes down to,
Yeah.
the people who are so driven,
Mhm.
locked in, I'm only looking at a 9 school, I'm only looking at this.
Right,
And those only fall into certain
Right.
pockets, it's a little hard to say, well, this school will be a 9 school, in a few more years, it'll get there.
yeah.
So that's
Look,
always a
look
great
at,
conversation.
so just don't go by those school ratings sometimes, because sometimes they don't tell the whole story,
I know.
right?
Well, some kids look
Right.
around, and some of those ratings, especially the tech scores, they're delayed by the COVID.
Yeah,
And so some of those shift scores are down because kids weren't getting education, they were home on a Zoom.
right.
And they weren't required to take tests.
Correct. that
Yeah,
too.
yeah. So, yeah, yeah, get to learn some of the schools that are out there too, because those scores can be off too, right? So how's the market? So to us, the answer, when I just asked you that question, you say it just doesn't matter. The market's the market, and I'm gonna survive no matter where the market is, right? So like the old timers in the room, oh, 2008, they walk around going, back in 2008, you don't know what happened in 2000. So we're gonna get to tell the same story if you were around during COVID, right? So the market's the market. You can survive, right? You could all survive. Right, what's that?
2008.
Well-
It made it feel like that was really old.
Well, we're about.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Good time to segue into.
Yeah, okay, let's segue into that was me last week when I was, my, every listing is selling and mine's not. That was me sitting on the front line. Why is my listing not selling? All right, we'll flip to the next page. I started out by saying that I beat the stats, right? So I made it 7 years. Do you know how many agents don't make it 5 years? 9 out of 10. It's 87%. We're close to 9 out of 10.
5 years?
Don't make it 5 years. They get their license, they don't renew it within 5 years. So it's 9 out of 10, right? There is a big dropout rate in real estate. And for better or worse, it is what it is. We've kind of pinpointed the top 5 reasons why people drop out, and there is something you could do about it. So this is not doom and gloom. If you're like just got your license last week and you're sitting in the room, I don't know who's been licensed only for like less than a month in the room, right? Okay. You guys can make it. You can make it. You're in the right place. You can make it. So this is not about trying to scare the heck out of you. This is about just a reality check. Do you understand that there is a plan, there is a way not to be part of that staff, right? So I like to say the first one that's on the list is that people are interested, not committed. right? So I'm interested in real estate, but it's not a career. So career, what happens in a career? So you work for McDonald's and your shift is from 8 to 5. You show up at 8 o'clock in the morning, you leave at 5 at night. You just do the same thing in real estate? Okay, all right, you should, because this is your profession. You should be committed to it. Right, that's the first thing. What's the other axiom I heard was if you're 98% into something versus 100%, that 2% of energy that you're not in is so draining. It's all negativity. You might as well just take that 2% of negativity and add it back to energy toward being committed to being 100%. If you're 98% committed to your marriage, is it gonna work? Because there's 2% of doubt in your marriage. Right? It's not gonna work, right? If you're 98%. I'm sorry. Some people in the room are like, no, I'm 15%, and it's been working fine for a lot of years, so leave me alone. I don't like that. Maybe that was a bad example.
Depends on how you feel.
Well, the other 2%. Okay, all right, I didn't think about that. But being fully committed to something, and I was thinking about that piece of anything that I've ever done in career-wise or anything I've committed myself to, and I just said, I'm in this, but I'm gonna keep a piece of myself to myself. It's never worked out, right? When I joined real estate, I said, this is it. This is all I've got, and hopefully I've made it. One of the reasons why I made it past it. The second one is a lack of financial management. How much money do you have to put away to become a real estate agent? How much money how much in reserve should you have? About 6 months, right? Right, at minimum of 6 months, right? Because that's your investment. How much do you have to invest to become a real estate agent other than that 6 months? It's not much more. Couple of $1,000, it's not a lot of money. So as far as buying a business, it's a great business to buy. My story is I was in corporate America. I worked for a company for 30 years. And then I reached a ripe old age and they said, we just want young people around because young people are smarter. They have more energy. And I was old and they aged me out of the company. They aged about 2,000 of us out of the company at the same time. Kellogg Company, they still make a great product, this cereal company. So, but in any case, at the time I said, I'm not going to let this happen to me again in another corporate job. I'm going to go buy a franchise. And I started looking at a lot of different franchises that I can purchase and what I can get out there. And one of them was what it was like a math tutoring company called Mathnasium. You ever see that? Right? I can't add 3 times 3 times 3. I have to take my calculator out. But in any case, I knew how to run a business. I said, okay, I could do that. I could hire tutors. I could do all that thing. I was about to sink $300,000 into this business. And they were going to front me all the money. And I had to put a certain percent down, but I was going to owe them $300,000 of my profit back through the years. Right? And then a friend of mine said, hey, you can make probably more money in real estate and you don't have to give up $300,000. And I'm like, no, you can't, because real estate is like the lady down the street who comes knocking on my door every once in a while with muffins. And I didn't realize it was a business. Okay. What changed my life and what's going to change your life is $1 Million Real Estate Agent, that book written by Gary Keller. Gary Keller said, okay, I've been in this business for all these years. I'm going to interview all the top producing agents out there. And here's the systems and models that they use to be successful. So the blueprint and how to run the business is between those pages right there. This is how you run a business. I read that book in a couple of weeks and then I went and I said, this is a business and I treat it like a business. And I wake up every morning like I'm going to work every morning and I leave every night like I'm leaving work. And it is my job, my profession, right? So I'm in it. So the financial management piece of this whole thing is you have 6 months put away. And then here's the other piece. Watch what you spend, right? So the MREA book in the model says that you lead with revenue, right? I see Carrie shaking her head because she's read it. You lead with revenue. If you don't have the money, don't spend the money, right? How you get your first deal? Go door knocking, go to open houses, go talk to everybody that you know, call the people that you know, because you've already got your phone. You already spent that money. You don't have to do anything else, but just call them. And that's how you start your business, right?
You've got the time.
You've got the time. Yeah. I'll let you know how I started. I went door knocking, on every Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. I did open houses every Sunday, then I followed up on those leads and I rinsed and repeated over and over and over again. That's how I started. But at the same time, I used to sit there and look at all the top producing agents. I said, they've got some secret they're not telling me. And every year I go back to Mega Camp to talk, to see those top producing agents and what they do. It's like all the same stuff you're doing. So all the stuff you're doing, they're doing. There's no difference. There is no difference, right? It's just, they're talking to people, they're doing the same things. Crystal, you got to say.
All things have been happening recently,
Mhm.
for safety issues. Anybody who wants to go door knocking with me, I love to door knock, but you know, considering what's been happening recently, it is definitely a heightened, more challenging thing to do in, you know, considering people.
It's more safe than you think. Yeah.
Door. And so we have to talk about it because everyone is talking about it. My children don't want me to door knock anymore. You know, they're like, Mom, find another profession. So anyone who wants to partner up and go door knocking, just let me know. Have to go out with them.
Okay. Fear of mistakes and a desire to live good. All right, this is the reason why you're not calling your database if you're first starting out, because you're afraid to call somebody and bug them. I was too. When they said, okay, in Ignite, when Melba was, yes, she was doing Ignite. It's only 7 years ago. It's not like it was 12 years ago, but Melba's been doing Ignite for a lot of years, right? The other thing you need to know too is that not every market center does Ignite. So I was at Mega Camp last year and they have all these vendor booths set up and there's this booth set up for training in your market center. They were appealing to team leaders. They were saying, here's how you could train all your new agents. I'm like, I'm dumb. I didn't know. I'm like, what is this training? What is this extra training? And they were like, well, we do Ignite. I'm like, what do you mean you do Ignite? We do it like, so I didn't realize that most of the market centers out there don't do Ignite. They don't have a dedicated person do that. So you're blessed to have that. Okay, so going back to fear of mistakes, and sorry, I got off track on that one. When Melba said on the, I don't know, what is it, the third or fourth day of Ignite, she said, okay, now get your phone out, start calling people, or your homework assignment before the next class is to call 10 people and talk to 10 people. I was like, I want to do that. I want to bug my family and friends about real estate, but that's where you start. And then if you know the right scripts, you know the right things to say, it becomes really natural. So it's not hard for me to talk to people about real estate. Yeah.
I think the funny thing is that fear of mistakes, we paralyze ourselves by not calling,
Yeah.
that we can't answer a question that a person's not even thinking about asking.
Right.
And so we just sit there and I wonder if they ask this, wonder if they ask that.
Yeah.
You're not even worried about that. And the mere fact that you have your license, you know more than 90% of people.
Yeah.
And the desire to look good, you got your license.
Yeah. Right.
I can look a certain way and I have to know certain things, get paralyzed.
Yeah.
And you miss that call, the pass, to make a decision. For your own.
Yeah.
To assume that you're gonna bother somebody. You can be in a house.
Mm-hmm.
Let me decide if I need a new house.
Right. Right. I love what you said. Does everybody feel like they're bothering somebody if they're talking about real estate? Okay. All right. You're on a rescue mission to save them from a bad agent. There's so many bad agents out there. So you're on a rescue mission to save them from a bad agent.
The other fear that I think, like I especially was when I first started is for me, I'm like, how am I gonna reach out to these people if I haven't talked to them in however long? But like what Melba said at the time was like, will they call you? Have they reached out? They probably feel the same guilt you do.
Yeah.
So by you reaching out, you're making the initial connection and then it goes to like, hey, I'm sorry you lost touch, but like, hey, I just wanted to let you know I can help you.
Right.
And so that fear, we just need to get over it. That's just the way to make it.
This is a different phone call other than you calling and selling, I don't know, what's some multi-level marketing scheme that your friends are all involved with, I know, selling soap or, yeah, stuff with muffins, yeah, that kind of thing. So, okay, the fourth one is having the wrong model or no model at all to follow. Or you're hanging around people that are sitting around and they're just negative energy. They're the ones sitting around in a group. Not this group. This is a group that all went to Chart Masters. So there's a smart group, but the other group is sitting around right now complaining about the market. complaining that Keller Williams is terrible and shouldn't, you know, all that kind of stuff. They're all just complaining. So when you're around people like that, just get away from people like that. Find the people that are successful and get around those people. Try and find the people that want the success, even if they've not achieved it yet, get around those people, right? The other thing you've heard around here, systems and models. We built everything off systems and models. So the models that we get to follow are the people like Andy and Leslie, right? And Aubrey Valley and all those people, and or Robin Lemon, those people who built strong businesses, and find out what they did to get around those people. Talk to the people who are successful. And there's no secret to it. Again, I used to sit around going, there's some secret, right? I used to look at people out there that was like, oh, well, their team did 150 deals last year. And I'm like, well, they're doing something that I can't possibly do. And they're just doing the same things you're doing. The last one is no goal. This is the part that everybody hates. No goal broken into numbers that can get measured. Okay, how many deals does it take? How many contacts does it take you to convert to one deal?
Well,
Okay, you're at 21.
Oh.
Well, contacts. You know, now look, you've got to know that number. That's the number. You've got to know how many contacts you need to make in order to close a deal, because. Yeah, that's great. 12 is, Cynthia's got, was great, right? You've got to know what your number is. It's different for everybody. That's why I asked what you, but you've got to have a number. You've got to know what that number is. That is, if you don't know that number right now, you've got to figure out how to find that number. That is so
If
important.
they're brand new in the business, how do they find that?
Okay. Go back to number 4. Talk to the people that have the number and ask them how they got that number, right? And there is systems around that too. I can tell you very quickly right now. Take out a piece of paper. I'm gonna help you with a system. Systems and models. There's your models. I'm gonna give you a system. Right? Just write this down. Okay, write the word why on the top of the page. Have you heard of a big, around here, have you heard the term big why? What's your why? Right? It's the first. It's your why. You've heard that, right? Underneath that, write goals. And they're kind of almost on the same plane, actually, why and goals, but that's fine. Right? Underneath that, you write GPS. I'll explain to you that. Underneath that, write 411. And the last thing is your calendar. Right? Now, at Keller Williams, they're going to teach you how to work off of this system to be successful, and it'll help you also discover how many contacts you need, to Kathy's question. First, you've got to figure out why you're doing this whole thing, right? Why am I in real estate? Why do I want to achieve my goals? And that could change, that changes all the time. My why, when I started, it kind of ebbs and flows, and it changes sometimes. I think my why when I started was what fueled me was like, I was going to be successful no matter what corporate America says. I was like, who's corporate America? I had some villain that was facing me, but even corporate America doesn't care about me, and they don't even know who I am. But I had this, I'm gonna make it. They kicked me out and I'm gonna make it anyway, right? So that's dirty fuel, but it's still fuel. It worked. So it works. So my why's changed over time. My why is just like influencing as many people as I can influence. And the way that I get to do that is just by having more business and having more tentacles out there and growing my database, and I can influence a lot more people. So that's my big why now. You find what yours is. Yours is it works. It could be just paying the bills right now. That's fine. That's a good why. You got to pay the bills, right? Know that. Now you have to have your goal. How much do you want to make next year? Right? That's how you kind of start this whole thing. Know your number. How much do you want to make this year, 3 years from now, and then 5 years from now? Right? And even think what's your longer term goals. So somebody asked me what my 30-year goals are. And my not to be in diapers. So that's my 30-year. So know that. The next thing underneath that was your GPS. That stands for goals, priorities, and systems. Strategies. Thank you. I should know that. Right.
You did.
Thank you. Okay, strategies, goals, and that basically takes your goal, your one goal number, and breaks it down to the top 3 things you're going to do in order to reach that goal, and then the strategies underneath it to achieve it. So if it's go door knocking to help reach that goal, then your strategy is hit 50 homes a week, right? Then you're gonna start building that out. That's your next piece right there. Right? Now, your goal number is tied into how many people you have to talk to. So generally, right now, it's about 120 people to one deal if you're brand new. You have to talk to 120 people to convert one deal. So if you want your first starting out number, it's 120. But you've got to track it. So here, no goal. I'm gonna finish this up in just 1 minute. Sorry, we're running a little bit late. No goal broken to numbers that get measured. The reason why you want to measure this is because over time, you're gonna understand that it's not 120. It's gonna get to where Cynthia is. We only have to talk to 12 people to convert one deal. Right. So these are all classes you can take, by the way. I'm just gonna run through it fast. The next piece down is your 4-in-1, which stands for, it stands for 4 weeks, 1 month, 1 year. You're gonna break down your goal over what I want to produce in a year, what I'm gonna do this month, and how I'm gonna do it over the next 4 weeks. Right? There's a whole class on how to do a 4-in-1. Just make sure you understand what 4-in-1 is. The last piece is that it goes on your calendar. So that if you're telling me right now that you're gonna go door knocking next week, when are you going? Put it on your calendar when you're gonna go. So it's gotta be on your calendar. Okay? All right, I'm a genius. I'm a genius because I figured that all out myself. No, it's in that red book between the 2 pages, right? It's all in there. Yeah.
Envision wearing March shirt, you know, that this is my family time.
This is it, yeah. What goes in your calendar first is your family time. There's a whole class on your calendar. We're not gonna talk about that now. But this is the way, so wait, 5 reasons most agents fail, but you can do something about it, right? And the people who are just in this out of interest, not really committed to it as a career, probably won't last. Again, financial management, you've got to have some money put away, manage that money. Don't send postcards out on your first week in business. It doesn't work. Fear of making mistakes, right? Do you know that, right? There's fearless people in this room. Follow the models, follow the model in the red book, and follow the people that get around the people that are positive. A lot of positive people here, and then you have that goal. Learn this system. So if you don't know what any of this stuff is that I just told you on this piece of paper, run around the office and ask people what this is and how you can find it, how you can get this systematic in your life.
In Rockville page, Facebook, you go to files and there's all kinds of things, including the Excel spreadsheet of all the systems, models, goals, GPS, everything is there. You can download that file and enter your information individually and it has like among everything.
Go to something also called the number one, write the number 1 down, not ONE, the number 1thing.com. The number 1thing.com. Go there. The word the number 1 and then thing.com. So the one thing, it has all these systems and models. There's courses on it. It's all written out for you to do this. Thank you for letting me go 5 minutes over time.
Thank you, John.
Thank you. I'll be back next year when they go to this kind of training thing. Yeah. Thanks.
Inspirational.
Oh, sorry. Queen Elizabeth II. So it is often the small steps, not the giant leaps, that bring about the most lasting change. Yes. Put it on your calendar, Queen Elizabeth. Thanks.
Thank you, John. Thank you, John.